Hello and welcome. My name is Annie and I usually teach classes in this beautiful studio called Northeast Yoga, but I'm here all alone as I am often these days making some virtual yoga for all of you, and so I'm happy to be here and happy to lead you in just a really nice, well-rounded, slow flow, probably something that would be good to practice in the morning, just to get your blood pumping, get your energy or your prana flowing. That's what we're probably going to focus most on, about 20 minutes or so of some easy, gentle movement that anyone can do. So feel free to join me in a seat. Get yourself honestly comfortable. Just make sure that your hips can relax a little bit. Just a simple cross-legged pose will do. And then we're going to start this practice by just simply walking the hands out in front of you a few steps. And if you're a little bit tight or tense in your low back or your hips, you might just stop right about there. Doesn't have to be an overwhelming sensation by any means. If you are a little on the bendier end of the spectrum, you might be able to relax to your forearms and soften up the backside of your body. Let your head drop. Relax your neck, your jaw, the corners of your mouth, the corners of your eyes, and go right ahead and let your eyes close. Taking a few moments here to honestly just get yourself grounded. Slow down your mind. Slow down your body. And most importantly, slow down the pace and the rhythm of your breath. Setting aside these few precious minutes to just simply get in touch with how you feel today. Perhaps just on a physical level, maybe on that emotional or even spiritual level as well. And remember that there's no right or wrong answers to these questions. Just make some simple observations about what you notice. Come on up on your inhale. We're going to go right back to where we left off. We're just going to switch out your lead leg and put your other foot in front to help balance out your hips and your low back a little bit. And then walk your hands back out and soften right back into the pose. Back to the breath. Scanning through the body and noticing the sensations as they pop up here and there. Remembering all the while that we're not making any sort of judgment, we're not setting any expectations, we're just simply observing. I think one of my most favorite definitions of what really constitutes yoga is much like meditation is the process of watching the mind. Having a physical asana practice, a yoga practice where you move your body, is really just learning how to observe the movement, to watch the way that your body moves, and to breathe accordingly. That's what makes yoga a little bit different from just ordinary, everyday stretching or calisthenics. All right, let's walk it back up nice and easy until you're in a comfortable seated position, and roll your shoulders a few times here. So this could be something that you just roll right out of bed and sit down on the floor and do. You really don't need much else, especially for the practice that we're going to do together here. We're going to keep everything pretty soft and simple. Let's roll out the head, neck, and shoulders a few times. Back and forth. And you can kind of twist the shoulders a little bit there if it feels good. I just got my hands resting on my knees and start to dip the shoulder forward a little bit, stretch into your back. Maybe back and forth a few times. Roll the neck around once more, drawing your ear to your corresponding shoulder, and then trace a line from one collarbone to the other, back the other way. And bring your head up through center. And let's take the hands around behind. If you can interlace your fingers, lock them together. Otherwise, you might just grab one wrist with the opposite hand, pull back and away from your body, and lift your knuckles up and off your spine. Just hold there across the heart center for about 3 full cycles of breath. Opening up your chest and the front of the shoulders. If you know you can take a little bit of a forward fold here, go right ahead and lean into that stretch a tad. Use a little bit of core strength so that you don't face plant forward on your mat, and if you do, it's not the worst thing. Just release your hands and help yourself back up slowly. All right, one last shoulder, upper body stretch, and then we'll move into a couple bigger postures. Let's bring the right arm straight across the chest here. Good. Don't let that right shoulder twist with you. Want to keep it back so that the shoulder blades are flanking either side of the spine. And then if you want to roll out the wrists, you can do them both at the same time here. Feeling that stretch go right along the seam of the biceps and triceps. And then release it, and right arm will swing up and over. Now, if you have really tender shoulders, maybe just touching the space between your shoulder blades or the back of your head is enough. If you can take a little more, then the left arm can come to help. You're just gonna pull back, use the back of your head for some extra leverage if need be. Feel your rib cage lengthen out, giving you more space to breathe here. Perfect time to work on the expansive nature of your breath, right? By taking slow, steady, mindful inhales and long, deep, satisfying exhales, you're actually strengthening your lungs. Can't think of anything better we could be doing for ourselves right now, huh? How about a little lean to the left and just look up to the right slightly. Even if you're not all the way in that stretch, you could just find a wrist and pull a little bit. And if the arms up overhead is too much, just keep it across the front side of the body. Wherever you're at, we'll let it go and switch it all out the other way around. Hook the left, sit up tall. Crown of the head is still right over your tailbone. Shoulder blades right along your spine in one nice even line. And then we can roll the wrists a few times around. Just give them a good twirl here. Tilt your head a little side to side. Just those tiny movements can make such a big difference in what you feel in the same stretch. And then we'll let it go. Let's swing that left arm up. Again, you go as far as it feels good, maybe just touching the space between the shoulder blades, or the right hand can come to help, and you can pull further. Use the back of your head for leverage. Keep the length in the spine, and now that your ribs are nice and long, breathe even deeper. And if you feel like you can get past your lungs, try to breathe all the way down into your belly. Let's do 3 full cycles of breath together. 2. 1 more time, inhale. Little look to the left and maybe just a slight little side stretch. And there's one. All right, release. Roll them around one more time. Shrug the shoulders. Change direction. Maybe just swing the arms across the front of the body. Now we've got a little bit of prana, a little bit of energy moving. So let's keep it going and come on out to the hands and knees. People with sensitive knees might want to double up your mat or throw a blanket down underneath the knees, and then we'll start here on all fours. This is tabletop pose, and we're going to make some big circles around. So I'm just going to shift my weight to the right and then swing my hips back and let them graze right across my heels, like you're going to stop in child's pose. And at the last minute, you circle around to the left. Good. So swinging around, go 3 or 4 times in this direction. And then pause, and we'll go the other way. Reverse, spin around. Notice how your back naturally might want to make some rounding and arching moves. We call that Chakravakasana in Sanskrit. It just means cat and cow shapes. And we'll do a few in a moment here back in tabletop, but don't be afraid to be fluid with the spine. Yogis always say that you are truly only as young as your spine is supple, right? So keeping your back healthy and happy keeps you healthy and happy, let me tell you. All right, let's move the spine a little more with some flexion here. Drop your belly, lift your chin, tilt your tail. That's your cow stretch. And then on your exhale, you round your back, just like a little Halloween cat. Chin pulls all the way to the chest, navel lifts. Go back and forth a few times now. Inhale, work with your breath. Exhale, round. Drop the belly. Lift the gaze. You don't have to crank the neck. Just roll the eyes up a little bit. There you go. And then round out. Now you're looking for your navel. One more time. Let your belly drop. Exhale, round through your spine. From this cat, we're going to turn into a down dog. So you can just keep your back round. That way you can see your toes as you tuck them all behind you. And then as you lift your hips, you take the roundness out of your spine as you press your chest back towards your thighs. It's definitely okay to keep your knees bent, especially in this first downward facing dog. Don't feel like you have to work right into straight legs. And you can bend and release the knees. Pedal through your feet a few times. Swivel your heels side to side. And then slowly bring your gaze forward. Let's take just a little walk up to the top of the mat. Might take you several steps to get there, and when you do, you're going to let your upper body relax completely. Again, don't hesitate to bend your knees. It's okay. Most of us are going to have a little tension in the hamstrings. It's to be expected. You are certainly not alone if you feel that way. Cross your forearms, take your elbows, and rock a little bit gently from side to side. Often called ragdoll pose. This is really just a little mudra. It's just a little circuit of energy that you can make with your body. And then to keep things balanced out, we're going to switch, put the other forearm in front, and keep rocking gently side to side. All right. Relax your fingertips down. And then you're gonna work your feet together. We're gonna do a different kind of salutation here. Most of the time you'll see a sun salutation. We're gonna do just a little version of a moon salutation instead to try something different. So instead of standing up, you're gonna crouch down. If you have really sensitive knees, you might just do something more like this, just a little bit of a squat. If you can crouch low, let your hips drop, and then draw your forehead in towards your knees, and come really high up on your toes and stretch the space across the top of your ankles, and all those tiny little webbings behind your toes, the ball downs of the feet. Good. Lift your head on your inhale. And then take a step back with your left foot. And as that left foot ends up behind you, just gonna bring it down. Set your back knee on the ground, and you can stay right there if that's comfortable lunge for you, or you can bring your hands up. Let your hips sink in. The motion of this posture is down and slightly forward. There you go, so it's a pretty deep lunge. If you're comfortable here, stay put, or you can add your arms up into any variation of crescent lunge or Anjaneyasana. Give it a breath or two. And then release. The hands come down. As they hit the mat, we're gonna shift the weight back until we can flex the front toes a little bit. For you really bendy people, you might have to slide your heel forward an inch or two and then fold over your front shin. So this is called half splits pose or Ardha Hanumanasana. This posture is named after sort of a fictional legend named Hanuman, who was a great leaper. So that's why this pose looks like a leap. And if you did the full pose, it's the splits. No need to do the splits today, however. We're just gonna see how this feels, and then we'll shift the weight back into the front foot. Again, if the knees are sensitive, you might want a little something under, or you can just double up your yoga mat. Take a little twist with me right there. And then right hand comes down. Gaze forward, you step back to the top of your mat, and exhale over the legs for a moment here. Maybe you're getting a little deeper into that forward fold. All right, half lift, look out. Come onto those tippy toes again. Find your crouching curl. If your hands can stay flat on the mat, use them and push into the ground to really round your back. Chin pulls in, slide your heels way up under your sits bones and stretch out your feet for 3, 2, 1. Lift your gaze, inhale. And we'll take a little step back with the right foot this time. It really doesn't matter which foot you do, as long as you get them both in. Come on down, deep crescent lunge. Arms sweep up and over. If you're not comfortable raising the arms, just keep your hands resting right there on your thigh. There's always a modification for every posture, right? There's always a way that everyone can feel comfortable in the poses. Everyone can get something out of this that makes you feel good, it makes you feel comfortable. And release. Hands come down from wherever you're at, and then you're gonna push the hips back again until you can flex your toes towards your nose. That might mean you need to slide your heel forward an inch or two and dive a little bit deeper. Relax whatever you can, especially the sides of the neck, the jaw, the shoulders. No need for them to work now. Focus on the intensity that's building on the left side and just try to breathe through it. 2 and 1. Pull that heel in a little if you need to. Shift your weight. Right hand stays on the mat, and we'll open up for a little dragonfly twist here. Low rotating lunge. Good. Follow with your gaze up if you'd like. And then release. This time, instead of stepping forward, we'll plant the hands. You can go to your knees or just simply lift right back to your downward facing dog and exhale completely. Okay. So you could repeat that lunge sequence a couple times on each side, stepping to the top and then moving one foot forward or back, depending on how many rounds you want to go. For now, we'll drop to the knees. We'll stick with just that one round of lunges and sink back into our very first full child's pose here. Let your forehead soften. And then slowly roll up as you sit back on your heels. We'll take the left arm up, right hand reaches out the side of your mat, and you just do a little side stretch here. This is a modified version of Parivrasa, Gates pose. Gates is one of those postures where there's all kinds of different versions of it. This is one of my favorites, just stretching side to side in hero with the knees bent. If this was problematic for your knees, you could come up and do it here, right? Either way, we're gonna release, let it go, back out one more time through your tabletop. Final downward facing dog as the hips go up one more time. And then gaze forward. This time you're going to take a little step, walk, or hop right back through to a seat. And as you land on the mat, put the bottoms of your feet together. Baddha Konasana. Just like the shape of a ball diamond or a butterfly, whichever resonates better with you, interlace your fingers here. Make a little basket to put your toes inside of, and then clamp your feet together and sit up really nice and tall. All right, here's one for all of you who are on your computer a lot nowadays. As you sit tall here, I'm just gonna pull my heart right through my arms, and then you just let one ear drop, and you stretch that side of your neck back out nice and long. Doesn't look like much, but most of the time, there's plenty to feel here for the majority of us. And then just like we did earlier, we're gonna roll the chin down. Keep sitting up as tall as you can. Make your upper back really broad and pull your chin tight to your chest to stretch right up to the nape of your neck. And then just swing. Left ear drops over to the other side. All the while, we're keeping the back long and strong. Bring your head back up and release. Feet come out in front. Give everything a good shake loose. Finish your practice here with one quick reach out, Paschimottanasana. If your toes are there, fantastic. If they're not, no problem. Just put your hands as far down your legs as you can comfortably go. Stay for about 4 or 5 deep exhales. And then as you come up, you just let yourself go all the way down. I'm turning to the side, but you can stay put. Just lower it down onto your back if you'd like. To finish with Shavasana, give your knees a quick squeeze. Maybe sneak in one quick twist here on your back. Doesn't matter which way you go, just let your knees fall to one side for a moment. A little spinal twist. And you take them back through the middle and go the other way. And when you're happy and satisfied, you'll just release everything out nice and long. Find a comfortable place to rest and stay right there for at least a minute. If you have enough time to take a 4 or 5 minute Shavasana, I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for wanting to move your body and for watching. Come see us sometime when the studio's back open. We're over in Northeast Minneapolis, Northeast Yoga. We're right on the corner of 13th and University. And in the meantime, you can catch us every day with live classes on Instagram and on Facebook. So pop on, give us a follow, and join us any day you'd like. Have a wonderful day. Hope to see you soon. Namaste. Stay healthy.